Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Morgan Hill Farms. So this morning did not go at all as planned. I got up. I was going to come out and film and talk to you guys. I had a few things that I wanted to talk to you about today. And so what I did is I got up, I got the kids up, we're getting ready to do our chores. I was kind of just finishing a few last things in the house that needed to be done, kind of just getting a load of laundry in the washer and, picking up a few dishes here and there. And anyways, my youngest daughter runs inside and says, "Mom, Peaches is stuck in the fence." So Peaches is what we call the golden goat here. I only have 2 goats right now. And Peaches is my goat that is just a champion. She has fantastic milking lines. She gives us so much milk. Her udder is beautiful. Easy births for her. Anyway, so she was stuck in the fence, which has never happened before for her. So anyways, I ran down there as fast as I could, and she's got herself wrapped up in our electric netting like twice. So it is literally strangling her. I was thinking I could just kind of get her out of the fence just with my hands, but I couldn't, so I had to send my other daughter up to get some scissors, and I'm screaming at her to really sprint up there because this goat is literally choking. Anyway, so we had to cut that fence. She seems to be okay. We gave her some grain. She's drinking water right now. I can see her right now. But, a little shaken up from that. Luckily, I did not have the Energizer on that fence. Otherwise, she just would have continuously gotten shocked. So, praise the Lord for that. So I could have potentially lost a goat this morning. I could have potentially lost my best milk producer and my only goat that's pregnant right now. And then on top of that, 2 days ago, Nate came to me and told me that we had a chicken that just looked like she wasn't really able to use her legs well. And so I was taking a look at her. I had been giving her a little bit of vitamins, giving her a little bit of electrolytes in her water, and kind of hoping that that would help her bounce back. I really have never had a problem with chickens. I've had 1 or 2 die here or there, but that was mainly from younger chickens who we had hatched out. Sometimes there's some type of, an internal issue or something like that where, they start to grow, but then they just don't make it. So I've never really had a full-grown bird just go ahead and plop over and die on me. But when I came out to the coop this morning, I was collecting the eggs for my little guy who's not feeling really well today. I found that chicken dead in the chicken run. And so it's just been a bit of a stressful, emotional morning. And now I'm thinking, man, with everything going on with eggs, and now I've got this chicken that died. I mean, I never saw any respiratory issues. I never saw anything like any runny noses, anything like that. The rest of the flock seems fine. But it makes me a little concerned. I'm sure things will be just fine, but just along that train of thought, we're getting about 30 eggs a day, so we definitely have plenty of eggs. And I have an entire incubator full of eggs, although I only think I'm going to have about a 50% hatch rate there, and I am going to stock that up with more eggs right when these guys hatch. Because I have people banging down my door for eggs right now, and I don't even sell eggs. They are just wanting to buy eggs because they are so pricey at the store. Just because one bird tests positive for bird flu, we have to cull hundreds of thousands of birds in that same flock. It's crazy. Now, am I going to go kill all of my birds because I have one bird that died? No, I'm not. We're going to wait. We're going to see. We're going to see what happens. I'm going to hatch out more chicks. We're going to just keep on going like we're going. But I guess what I'm saying with this is, I don't know, do you guys realize how consolidated our food system is? I was listening to some news reports about eggs, and they were saying that, it used to be that small farmers, had chickens that laid eggs, and then they would supply the communities in certain regions. And now it has become so consolidated that we have 5 main companies that have egg-laying chickens, and it takes approximately 12 months to get a new flock in where they're laying. Once you kill an entire flock, it takes 12 months to replace that so that you're getting production again. But they're saying that these producers, they're not panicking. They don't really care because they're producing less, but they're making more. Their profits are skyrocketing. And so they're not on the track to, up production, to try to find solutions, to try to get more birds in there. And the reason that these birds are getting these diseases is because of the way that they're kept. When you have all of these birds in one house and there's no ventilation, and you think about the people that go in there to take care of these birds, they're all suited up, they've got respirators on, it's just crazy to me that we've consolidated stuff so much. Think about meat, right? We have 4 major chicken or poultry meat producers in this company. You've got Tyson, you've got Pilgrim Foods, Sanderson Farms, Purdue. They produce almost all of the chicken in America. So when one thing happens, it wipes out a huge portion of our food supply. Think about General Mills, Cheerios. I saw that Cheerios in New York were $10 a box. But think about General Mills. They own Pillsbury. They own Cascadian Farms. That organic cereal that you think is really good for you and it's coming from a wholesome place. Well, that's General Mills. They own Gold Medal Flour. They own so many companies. Pepsi, their Doritos, Frito-Lay, Gatorade, Mountain Dew. We've just contracted our food supply so much, and the way that we produce things and the amount of recalls that we have really should be a wake-up call for everybody. When one small thing happens, all of this food gets pulled off the shelf because it's all being made in the same factory, in the same company, and it all has the same issue. And so what I'm trying to say to you guys is just make sure that you are, I guess, diversified. They always say that according to the stock market, that's doing really bad right now. But as far as your food, can you get your food from a local farmer? You might find that you have better prices, especially if you're buying in bulk, because you can buy in bulk from them. They give you a cheaper price, and then you preserve that food and get it up on your shelf for the year. Grow your own food and preserve your homegrown food. That is a huge cost savings. Now, initially putting the garden in is a bit expensive, but the return that you get after a few years, gosh, I think I didn't even buy compost this year because we started making our own compost. Really, the only thing that I bought this year were my bulbing onions and just a little bit of fertilizer. That was it. I'm keeping my old seed garlic to plant that. I've got seed potatoes inside, which reminds me, those probably need to go in soon, among everything else that needs to be done in the garden. Just thought about that. So another thing that I need to put on my list. I'm saving seeds from a lot of things. Of course, I do bring seeds in every year to try different varieties and things like that. But my costs overall are getting lower and lower and lower. So try to source your stuff from local providers, from maybe smaller companies, because when something big happens or they decide that they really just want to control your food supply, they don't have too many people to talk to cut down production. And with how wealthy these companies are, and I'm sure that there's a lot of corruption in them, when you look at the amount of things that are found in our food supply that aren't even supposed to be there, like plastic residues, pesticides, they've even found drugs in our food supply, things that just get in there somehow, but are not part of the food, but they're in the food. It's very confusing to me. So I'm sure there's a lot of corruption there. I don't think that they're going to have to pull too many strings to cut back production or to, do whatever nefarious thing that they want to do. So just make sure that your pantries are stocked and make sure that you have a backup for your backups. Like if you've got chickens, maybe consider hatching some out, even if you don't need any. Chickens kind of peter out after a while. After a few years, they kind of decrease their laying. My flocks are about 2 years old. My Delawares are 1, but my Americanas are about 2 years old at this point. So just, hatch out some more eggs. If you guys have been to Tractor Supply, man, the moment they get those chicks in, they're gone. We have a local garden center here that has to post on Facebook exactly when the chicks are coming. They say, oh, the post office called us. They're delivering them right now. And then they go through their whole spiel of first come, first serve, no pushing in line. You're waiting in line. We can't limit. We can't tell you exactly what chicks we're getting. And so, they're sold out within 30 minutes. And this is a smaller company, just, one store here in the upstate of South Carolina. So anyways, guys, yeah, just start thinking about what you can do, because I mean, potentially I maybe could lose my whole flock. I really don't think that's you know, a high possibility, but I could, and then I could have lost my best dairy goat, my only goat that's going to give me milk this year, because she's my only one that I bred. So anyways, guys, so just keep that on your radar. You know, we're into the season here where we need to start getting going on the garden, so just try to do as good of a job as you can. You know, try to expand, put a few more garden beds in if you have some spots. Heck, use the landscaping around your house. That's what I do. I put in sunflowers, I put in watermelon, and all kinds of stuff in the landscaping in my house, much to Nate's dismay. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I will see you in the next video.